Good. But I guess you were telling something the opposite way just before I entered. Like you were trying to say about the issues you are facing currently, right? You can tell me also if you wish to.
Yeah, sir. 2 days before, I'm not. My health issue is not be good, sir. That's why I didn't
Okay.
attend the
Okay.
evening
Okay.
session.
Okay.
That's what we are discussing, sir.
Okay. 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 And what? Uh, Hi, Omkar, Ayushi. Okay, great. And how is your college load going on currently? Do they give homework?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they give homework. So, how do you manage with their homework and the ones that we are doing? I'm pretty sure the questions they give, like, you will find comparatively easier, like much easier compared to what we are discussing over here, right? What do you think? No.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you find their questions difficult?
No, sir.
The questions they give? No, okay. So, like, the questions are easy. The questions that they give are easy, but they are more in number. Like, they are repetitive kind of. Like, if you solve their questions, you will feel that you are doing the same type of questions again and again and again. Like, there is nothing new. Like, you are not applying your logic too much in the questions that we do in school generally, NCRT level. It doesn't require logical reasoning. That is what I felt during my time, right? Do you agree with me or not? Like you, if you don't agree with me, you can say it is your choice. I don't force you to think the way I think. What do you think? Vignesh, Omkar, Ayushi,
Yes, sir.
like, do
Yes,
you
sir.
feel that, yeah, that the questions we discuss in school, NCRT level, they don't require much of logical reasoning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Great. So today we will be just completing a few limits that are left, and after that, we'll be moving on to continuity. So great. So today we'll just start with a question. We have got limit x tends to 0, square root 1 minus cos of 2x whole divided by x. Okay. So 1 minus cos of 2x. What is the formula for 1 minus cos of 2x? What is it? 2 sine square x by 2, right? 2 sine square x, right? 1 minus cos of 2 theta is 2 sine square theta, right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So basically what is happening over here is you are taking limit x tends to 0, square root of 2 sine square x whole divided by x, right? So how do you take the square root of this thing? How do you take square root of 2 sine square x? Tell me, Vignesh, how do we take the square root? How do you take the square root of sine square x?
So, next, sir.
Sine x? Are you sure? Sine x. If you remember clearly, there is a property of the square root. What can your square root output? Like what is the range of the square root? Like for example, I take square root of 1 by 9. What will be my value?
1/3.
1 by
Great. It can't be minus 1 by 3. You all agree? It can't be negative value.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right? So what if my sine x is negative? You are telling square root of sine square x is sine x. What if it is negative? Like my square root should only return positive values. So can I write it as mod of sin x, modulus of sin x?
yes,
That
sir.
if it is
Yes,
negative,
sir.
it will convert itself to positive. Great. Sounds good,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
right? So this is what we have. We have got square root of 2 multiplied by modulus of sin x whole divided by x. This is what you have. So just think for a while. For the time being, I'll be taking the LHL and the RHL, the left hand limit and the right hand limit. So in the right hand limit, tell me, is your x greater than 0 or lesser than 0? In your
Greater
right
than
hand
0,
limit.
sir.
Okay, great. What about the left hand side?
Less than 0.
Okay. So if your x is greater than 0, so is your sin x greater than 0 or lesser than 0?
Greater than 0.
Okay, great. What about this case?
Less than 0.
Right. Great. It is a negative value, right? But we are taking the modulus of sin x, right? We are taking the modulus. So mod of sin x will remain positive only, right? What about this case? Mod of sin x, it will be positive only, right? But when you take square root into mod of sin x divided by x, now both your sin x and like your mod sin x and x both are positive. So this thing will convert to 1. So your limit value will be square root of 2. But will the same thing happen on the left side also? In the left hand side, you have got square root 2 into modulus of sin x divided by x. Your modulus of sin x is positive, but is your x also positive? Is your
Yes.
x positive? Is your x positive on the left side?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Why is it positive? We have written in the first term that x is lesser than 0.
No, sir.
X is lesser than 0, right? We have just written it over here. If x is lesser than 0, it is a negative value. Do you all agree with this?
Yes, sir.
It is a negative value. So sin x, mod of sin x is positive, but your x is negative. So this thing, where will this thing go? Tell me. See, over here, both of them were positive, and my answer came out to be 1. Here, one of them is positive and one of them is negative. So where will it go?
Negative.
Minus 1.
Negative, great, great. But value. Tell me the value of the, like, what will be value?
Minus 1.
Minus 1, great.
Minus
So square root 2 into minus 1. So this will be minus square root 2, right? Minus root 2. So my left hand limit, the value of my left hand limit. What is the value of my left hand limit? It is minus square root 2. And the value of my right hand limit is root 2. Are both of them equal? No, they are not equal. So what is happening is my left hand limit value is not matching with my right hand limit. So what can I say? That the limit does not exist,
limit does not exist.
right? All of you remember the criteria? What was the criteria for a limit to exist? Who will tell me?
Left
1 week
hand.
ago we had done. Left hand limit should be equal to the right hand limit. But over here it is not working, right? And in general, I can just say for in general that we need to be careful in case of even power roots. So rather you have square root, you have fourth root, you have sixth root. In such cases, you need to be really careful because they can never return negative values. Okay, so when you take the square root or the fourth root or the sixth root or the eighth root, you need to be careful because sometimes you may mess up with the sign, just like someone from here. So when I asked what is the square root of sine square x, most of you had told, sir, it will be sine x. No, it will not be sine x. It will be mod of sine x. It will always return a positive value. So you need to be checking the sign also. Sometimes you mess up with the sign and then get the wrong answer. Okay, great. So, okay, so we have got one more question. Limit x tends to infinity, sine x by x. Okay, limit x tends to infinity, sine x by x. So if I just bluntly put in the values, if I just try to put in the values, so it will be sine of infinity divided by infinity, right? So I don't know, like I don't know what the numerator is. Can any one of you tell me what the value of sine infinity is? Right? Sine infinity, I don't know the value. It is not defined. Do you all agree with me? Sine of infinity. Ayushi, Sravani, do you know the value of sine infinity?
No,
No,
sir.
No, it is not defined.
Sir.
Vignesh,
yes, sir.
do you do you agree with this? Sine of
No, sir.
infinity. Do we know the value of sine of infinity?
No, sir.
Zero, sir.
Sine of infinity is zero. How? How did you say that?
Sine zero
I,
is equal to zero. No, sir.
so sine of zero is zero, but how did you tell of sine infinity? How? What can we say about infinity? I don't know where infinity falls. I have absolutely no idea. If I try to plot it in the xy plane also, the angle, I don't know which of these quadrants it falls in. So I don't even know if the value is positive or negative. I don't know anything about it. But one thing I know for sure, can just any one of you tell me what is the range of sine x? Range of the function sine x. What is it? What range? All of you understand what is the meaning of the word range? Range of a function. Vignesh, Sravani, what does range of a function mean?
So is it mean where it repeats once again?
I'm
I mean,
asking what is the range of sine x? Range of a function. What is meant by the word range of a function? None of
ES-1
you.
plus 1 of range.
Correct. Range means what is the set of values that this function can give me as an output. When I am inputting x to it, okay, when I keep on inputting the value x to it, what is the set of values that it can give me as the output? So no matter what values of x you input in it, sin x will always remain between -1 and 1. You all agree with this? The
Yes,
value
sir.
of sin x always remains between -1 and 1, right? So one thing I can say for sure, I don't know the value of sine infinity, but I can say one thing for sure, that sine of infinity will definitely be between -1 and 1. You all agree with this?
Yes,
Can
sir.
I say sine of infinity will definitely be between -1 and 1? So see, what we are doing over here, we are taking sine of infinity divided by infinity. So I don't know what is the value of sine infinity. I don't know this value, but I can say one thing for sure. It is a number that lies between -1 and 1. And I am dividing it by infinity. Can you tell me what will be the value? If I have a number that is
Zero,
being,
sir.
yeah, correct. So if it is between -1 and 1, it is for sure, right? It is for sure a finite value. A finite value that is being divided by plus infinity. What will be the number? What will be the value of the limit? Vignesh, Akshaya, Sriram, Sravani, you get
Sir,
it?
can you repeat, sir?
I'm telling you, see, I know a number that is between -1 and 1. So I can for sure say that the number is finite, right? Any number that is between -1 and 1, it is a finite value. Do you all agree with this? It is a finite value.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So any finite value, any number that is between -1 and 1, it is for sure a finite value. So any finite value divided by infinity, what will it be?
zero, sir.
0.
Zero,
Correct.
sir.
So it is zero. Great. Can we do the same for cos also? Can you tell me? So again, we get cos of infinity divided by infinity. I don't know what is the value of cos. What is the range of cos x? Range of cos x?
0 to 1.
0 to 1. No.
So -1 and 1, sir.
Minus
Correct. R- range of cos x.
-1 to 1.
-1 and 1. So again, I have a value that is between -1 and 1, and the number is getting divided by infinity. So what will be my value of limit?
0, sir.
0, sir.
Great. Right? Really simple. Okay. Let us do one last before moving ahead. So it is not related to this one. So you've got limit x tends to infinity. You have got 3 by x multiplied by greatest integer function of x by 4. This one is a little bit tough, but you should all just know what is the property of greatest integer function. So first of all, where will the value 3 by x go to? First of all, just tell me. If x is tending to infinity, where will 3 by x go to?
0, sir.
Infinity.
3 by x will go to?
Infinity, sir.
If x is
0, sir.
tending to infinity, 3 divided by, what is 3 divided by infinity?
0,
0,
sir.
sir.
0. And obviously, where will x by 4 go to? What is infinity divided by 4? Yeah, it will be infinity only.
Infinity.
And if I try to take the greatest integer function also of infinity, where will this tend to? Greatest integer function. Do you all know what is meant by the greatest integer function? GIF.
No,
Infinity.
sir.
Great. Vignesh, don't know greatest integer function?
No, sir.
Okay. Like we have discussed it many times in this chapter also. So greatest integer function of any number will return the largest integer that is either lesser than or equal to that number. Okay. So for example, you take greatest integer of 5.1. So it will return you 5. If you take greatest integer of 5, it will give you 5 only. If you take greatest integer of 5.9, it will give you 5. So basically, it will give me the largest integer that is either lesser than that value or equal to that value. So
Yes.
tell me, what is the greatest integer of 3.75? What will it be?
3, sir.
3, sir.
3,
Hmm.
sir.
We discussed it in this chapter also in the starting. We did some questions related to greatest integer. So tell me, how should we do this one? So basically, it is 0 into infinity form. See, 3 by x will go to 0, and greatest integer function will go to infinity,
Infinity.
right? So how should we do this one? We have got 3 by x into greatest integer function of x by 4. Tell me, how should we do this one?
Expansion, sir.
Expansion. Do you have an expansion for greatest integer function? No. Greatest integer function just gives you the integer, I mean, the integral value. There is no expansion for that. It is a kind of estimation function. So only if you all remember x, if I take any number x, it can be written as the greatest integer function of x plus fractional part of x. Do you all agree with this? You can see any number. You can see any number. It will be equal to the greatest integer plus the fractional part, right? If you write any number like x, y, z point ABC, so this number can be written as xyz plus 0 point ABC. Do you all agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had discussed it in relations and functions, this property. Okay, so we've got this thing. So now I can write my greatest integer of x as x minus fractional part of x. So you have got 3 by x into x by 4 minus fractional part of x by 4.
Yes, sir.
So just it will be 3 by 4 minus 3 times fractional part of x by 4 whole divided by x. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just tell me, what is the range of fractional part of x? What is it? Range. See, here I need to calculate the fractional part of x by 4. I don't know what it is. I don't know the value. But at least I know the range. What is the possible value of fractional part? If I write any number, and so what is the maximum value of decimals that it can have?
0 to 1.
0 to 1, correct. Right? If you think about any number, any decimal value, what is the maximum range of decimal you can have? You can have maximum 999999999 like that till infinity. That is a
Yes,
value that is just smaller than 1. Okay, so the range is 0 to 1. So just think about it. In the numerator, you have a value that's between 0 and 1. And in the denominator, you have got x, and your x is tending to infinity. So any number that is between 0 and 1 divided by a value that is infinity, where will it go to?
0.
Great. So what will be the value of my limit?
3 by 4.
4.
Great.
3 by 4.
Right? Because any finite value divided by any infinite value, definitely it will go to infinity. That is how we do it. Great. So today we will be discussing about the concept of continuity. Okay. So what does continuity mean? For example, you have a function y is equal to f of x. Okay. So at any point x, okay, so let us just assume at any point x naught. If the left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit is equal to f of x naught, so we say that the function is continuous. Great. Left hand limit should be equal to the right hand limit, should be equal to the value at that point. So we say the function is continuous. If this thing does not obey, so we call the function, we say that the function is not continuous. Okay. Like, so let us just start with a really simple question. So you've got f of x plus 1 when x is greater than or equal to 0, and x square plus 1 when x is less than 1. Okay. And we need to check the continuity at x is equal to 0. Fine. So first of all, f of 0, then we will be taking LHL, and then we will be taking RHL. So first of all, we have got x is equal to 0. So if x is equal to 0, is the function x plus 1 or is the function x square plus 1?
X
X
plus
plus 1,
1.
sir.
Okay, great. It is x plus 1. So tell me, what is the value of f of 0?
1.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Now we are discussing about left hand limit. Left hand
Yes, sir.
limit means I have got this number and I am talking about
0
a
minus.
number that is just smaller than 0. Okay. I'm talking about a number that's just smaller than 0. So if a number is just smaller than 0, will it go for x plus 1 or x square plus 1?
X square plus 1,
X
sir.
X
square plus
square
1.
plus
Okay,
1.
great. It will go for x square plus 1.
1, sir.
And great, it will be 1. Okay, in this case, I've got a number that's just
Greater than
greater. So which one will it go for?
X plus
X
1.
plus 1.
X plus
Great.
1, sir.
And
1,
what
sir.
will be
1,
the
sir.
value?
1, sir.
1.
Are all of these three values equal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is
So can I say
continuity.
they are continuous?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Great. I can say this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let us see if it works. So we are going to check the continuity of x square plus 2x plus 1 at x is equal to -1. So I have got f of x square plus 2x plus 1. Okay. And I've got my value x is equal to -1. So first of all, can you tell me f of -1? What will be the value of f of -1?
4, sir. No, sir.
4.
How much?
0, sir.
4?
0, sir.
It will
0,
be
sir.
0,
0,
right?
sir. 0.
It will be 0. Great. Now we are talking about LHL. LHL means limit x tends to -1
0.
minus, like a value that's just smaller than -1. And you have got x square plus 2x plus 1. Can you do it? What will be the value?
0, sir.
Okay, it
0.
will be 0. Correct. What about RHL?
-1 plus, sir.
Hmm. What will be the value?
0, sir.
0, sir.
Three values are equal. What can I say?
They are continuous.
Continuous. Yes, sir.
Continuous. Okay, great. Okay. So we are checking at x is equal to 0. So can you tell me what is the value of f of 0?
1.
1.
1, sir.
Right? Because it is already given to me. If x is equal to 0, it will directly be 1. So
Yes,
it
sir.
was not an issue. Let us discuss about RHL. RHL means I've got 0 and a number that's just greater than 0. Right? This is what I have. This is what I have. So tell me, if I have a number that's
0,
just
sir.
greater than 0, wait for a minute. If I have a value that's just greater than 0, so obviously it is not equal to 0. So it will follow this thing, right? It will go for mod x by x. So I will get limit x tends to 0 plus mod x by x. Now, can you just tell me, if I have a value that's x is greater than 0, so my mod x is also greater than 0. So what will be my value of mod x by x? Do they have the same magnitude? My mod x and x, they both have the same magnitude. Do you all agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you take the modulus of any positive number, it will give you the same number.
Positive.
So tell me, what will be this value?
0, sir. 0.
0. Why will it be 0? They
0
have the
by
same
0.
value, right? It will be x divided by x.
1.
It should be 1. Why will it be x divided by x? Because they will have the same magnitude. 0 divided by 0 is not 0. We forgot. Limit 0 divided by 0 is not 0, right? Ayushi, Sravani,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
remember, right? We have done so many questions.
Yes, sir.
Now let us discuss about left hand side. So you have got a number that's just smaller than 0. So you have got limit x tends to 0 minus mod x by x. Now your x is negative. What about your mod x? Mod x, will it be positive or negative?
Negative, sir.
Positive, sir.
Positive, sir.
How can your mod x
Positive.
be negative? Do you
Positive,
clearly
sir.
okay, so like you know what is modulus function? Have you
Positive
attended that
number, sir. It
relations and
gives
functions? Yeah, it gives the positive value. So where will this thing go?
-1, sir.
-1, sir.
Great. -1. -1. So just in case if you don't remember, there is this thing called the definition of modulus of x also. How do you define modulus of x? So there is a really simple thing to do. It can be defined as x when x is greater than equal to 0 and minus x when x is lesser than 0. right? This is how we used to define. So basically, you take any positive value, right? You take modulus of 5, it is a positive value, so it will give you 5 only. You take
Yes, sir.
4.9, it will give you 4.9 only. You take mod of 0, it will give you 0 only. But if you input it a negative value, what will it do? It will
Five
reverse that
point
value. It
yes.
will take the minus x, right? So it will give you minus x, minus of this value. So minus of minus will again give you plus, right? You take minus of 6.2, it will give you minus of minus 6.2. What is minus of minus 6.2? It is
Yes, six
6.2.
point two.
Right? Yeah. So that is why this is how it works. So like even if you go by definition, even if you go by definition, now your x is negative. So what will be your mod x? If your x is negative, what is your mod x?
Positive, sir.
No, what is your mod x? Like, what is the definition of your mod x? Look over here. If your x is negative, what is your mod x equal to?
Minus x.
Hmm. So what will be this value? Minus 1. Great. Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So in general, you take
Then
any polynomial function. Ask.
it is not continuous, sir.
It is not continuous. Yes. Because the values don't match, right? You
Yes,
have
sir.
1 and minus 1. So it
Minus
is
one.
not continuous. Yeah, great. So just one thing to observe, that any polynomial function, no matter how large it is, tell me, just think of any polynomial. Like you can take maybe something like c naught x raised to 0 plus c1 x raised to 1 plus c2 x square plus c3 x cube. No matter how large you take it, you substitute any value in it. You first of all, you can substitute, you can take any value x is equal to alpha. So either you take alpha plus alpha minus, both of them will give you the same value, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? They will give you the same value. So what can I say about a polynomial function? If you have a polynomial function, what can I infer about it? Tell me. What can I infer about the continuity?
It will be always continuity.
It is always continuous.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. It is always continuous. Any polynomial function is always continuous. So we just have a few properties to discuss about continuity. I mean, the properties are really simple. First of all, if you have f of g, and assuming, I'll just write it, assume f and g are two functions and both are continuous. Okay. Assume f of x and g of x are two functions, both of them are continuous. So obviously, first property, f plus g of x is also continuous.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like just adding of two functions. Second, f minus
F
g,
minus.
it will be also continuous,
Yes, sir.
right? Third, f of f into g, it will be also continuous. The fourth one, we need to keep a little bit eye on it. It will be continuous, but there is a situation to it. Can you tell me what will be the situation? F of x divided by g of x, when will it be continuous? Tell me. It will be continuous only when g of x is not equal to 0. G of x should not be equal to 0 at the point we are checking. Can you tell me why? What will happen if g of x is equal to 0? What will happen
Infinity.
if infinity, is infinity the only issue? Think about it. Is infinity the only issue? Okay, I mean, like you got the correct way, but can anyone think of it? What will happen if g of x is equal to 0? I am talking about the exact value 0, not tending to 0. What will happen if my g of x is exactly equal to 0? Any denominator, if it becomes exactly equal to 0, what will happen? Division by 0. What is it? Right? It is not defined. So the limit won't exist at that particular point. How will you
Yes,
find out the value of how will you find out the value of f of x by g of x when your g of x is already equal to 0? So like anything divided by 0, it won't be equal to anything, right? It will be not defined.
yes, sir.
So if it is not defined, for for checking the continuity, you need three things. You first of all you need the value at that point, then you need left hand limit, and then you need right hand limit, right? So if you look closely at this point, you won't have the value at that particular point only. So for this, we need to see that g of x is not equal to 0. Great. So let us do a few questions related to it. Okay, and then like just before that, continuity gives you a small physical meaning also. What is the physical meaning of continuity? It means that if you plot y is equal to f of x on xy plane, okay, something like this, you plot it. So it will go without any break. Like the curve, in other words, in layman language, you can say that without lifting your hand, you can draw your entire curve. Okay, this is what is meant by a continuous curve. If you plot a function, so without lifting your hand, you start, you put your pen on this end, and you can just go once and then complete it. So without lifting your hand one time, you complete the curve. It is just a very blunt explanation for it. But the actual explanation is that it can go without any break. Fine. This is what it means. I mean, it is not useful also. It was just for discussing. So let us just look at y is equal to sine x and y is equal to cos x. Can you tell me, everyone? Can we discuss about their continuity? Y is equal to sine x and y is equal to cos x. What can we say about their continuity? Anyone? You can just barely look at the curve of sine x and cos x. Do they have any breaks in between at a point where they're breaking? Do
No,
they
sir.
have any break? No. They don't have any break. So what can I infer? They're continuous.
Yes, sir.
The same of cos x also. It is continuous at every point,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
right? You
sir.
can just check at any point. Okay, great. So I have got a function f of x is equal to 1 by 2 mod x minus 1. Okay. So it is asking me what are the points of discontinuity of this function. You have got this function f of x that is equal to 1 by 2 mod x minus 1. So it is really simple. See, you can see it as 1 divided by 2 mod x minus 1. So in the top, I have 1. Is 1 always continuous? Y is equal to 1. Is it always continuous? Right? Does it have any break in between?
No, sir.
No, it doesn't have. So y is equal to 1 is always continuous.
Continuous.
Right? So just remember that property. Two functions, if two functions are in divided, so which is the point at which they can't be continuous? The point where the denominator is equal to 0, right?
Mm.
The point where denominator, what is the denominator over here? 2 mod x minus 1. So 2 mod x minus 1 is equal to 0. So that means mod x is equal to half. So if mod x is equal to half, what are my values of x?
Plus of minus.
X
Great.
1 half.
These are my two values of discontinuity. So if I plot this curve, 1 by 2 mod x minus 1, this will be the 2 points wherein I will get a break in the curve. Okay. Tell me. You have got 1 divided by 2 sin x minus 1. What will happen? So again, you have got like 1 divided by 2 sin x minus 1. So one function divided by another function. Y is equal to 1 is in the numerator and it's always continuous, right? Y is equal to 1 is always continuous. So your points of discontinuity will only arise when your denominator is equal to 0. So 2 sin x minus 1 is equal to 0. So that means my value of sin x is equal to half.
2
So can
sin
you
x.
tell me, right? Sin x is equal to half. So what are my
Yes.
values of x? What are my values of x wherein my sin x is equal to half? Do you know? Anyone? No one?
No, sir.
30, sir.
30 degrees. Okay, great. In radian, what is the in trigonometry you must have learned general solutions. If you have something like this, you should be able to write a general solution to it. What is the general solution of sin x?
N pi plus minus 1 raised to
Great,
n
great. This is
theta.
what I was. Great. And what will be your value of theta over here?
30 degrees.
Great. 30 degrees means pi by 6. Great work. So this is your general solution. So basically in this, you just substitute your value of n. N is any integer. So you substitute your values of n and then you will get those points at which it is discontinuous, at which the function is discontinuous. Okay, great. So now I got a function f of x log of 1 plus x raised to 1 plus x. Okay, so just a minute. It is something like this minus x whole divided by x square. So it is asking me what is the value of f of 0 if f of x is continuous. So I don't know the value of f of x. I don't know the value of f of 0 when x is exactly equal to 0. Okay, I don't know the value. It is asking me that value, but it has given to me that it is continuous. So can you tell me? First of all, what is the condition for a function being continuous? What is the condition? So the condition is that f of 0 should be equal to left hand limit, should be equal to right hand limit, right? Everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Everyone, right? So now it has told me that this condition is satisfied and it is asking me what is the value of f of 0. So what should I do? I should calculate these two values, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is what
Yes,
I
sir.
will be doing. So I will calculate limit x tends to 0 log 1 plus x raised to 1 plus x minus x whole divided by x square. So you all know this property. What is log x raised to c?
C log x.
E log x, sir.
Great, great. It is c log x, right? Your power comes before. So over here, your 1 plus x is being raised to a power. So I can uh, bring it in the front. So I write it as 1 plus x
Log
log
plus
1 plus x minus x whole divided by x square. Right, everyone?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So which form is this?
0 by 0, sir.
Yeah, but
Great. Right? 0 by 0? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
If it is 0 by 0, what should I apply over here? According to you, like what is the best method to solve this?
Differences.
Okay, great. Go for differentiation. So what will be the differentiation of the denominator?
2x.
Great,
2x, sir.
great, great. So do you know how to apply product rule in differentiation? You have got the product of two functions. How do you take, how do you apply differentiation of on product of two functions? So for example, you have two functions u into v and you need to differentiate it. How can you do it? So you do u dash v plus v dash u. Fine. So you just differentiate one function at a time and keep the other as it is. So if I differentiate 1 plus x, so it will be 1. So 1 into log of 1 plus x. Okay. Plus. Now you differentiate the other function and keep this one intact. So 1 plus x divided by 1 plus x. Okay. This is how you do. So you have got log of 1 plus x. So 1 plus x divided by 1 plus x. What will it be? 1 plus
one.
x divided by 1 plus x. It will be 1.
1
And then
plus
you have got this minus 1 also. So 1 minus 1 got cancelled. So you got divided by x. Limit x tends to 0. Right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what will be the value of this thing? Tell me.
0 by 0, sir.
Is I know, like it is 0 by 0, absolutely correct. But I already have a property for this. Log of 1 plus x divided by x when x is tending to 0. Where will it be? Log
1,
of 1 plus x. Ah, great. So 1 and I have a 2 in the division. So my final answer is half.
1 by
half.
2.
Right? Right? Half.
Yes, sir.
So what the issue is that my left hand limit and my right hand limit both are equal to half. So can you tell me what should be my value of f of 0 so that the
Half,
function is
sir.
continuous? Great.
Half.
So that my function is continuous. Great. Let us just discuss one more case, and through this you will understand mod x even better. So you have got f of x is equal to 1 by x square minus 3 mod x plus 2. Okay. So it is asking for the points of discontinuity. Great. Can you think? Anyone? So obviously it is division of two functions, right? One function divided by another function. So the function in the numerator is 1. 1 is always continuous. Do you all agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this function will be discontinuous only when the denominator is equal to 0. So you have got x
Okay.
square minus 3 mod x plus 2 is equal to 0. How do you solve this equation? Any one of you knows? We have done this already in relations and functions. Can you think? We have done it already in relations and functions. There is a very, very small thing that you need to think about mod x. Okay, not an issue. So see, like the very small substitution that we make over here is that x square is also equal to mod x square, right? Everyone, either you take the square of x or you take the square of mod x. Both of them will give you the same value. Do you all agree? Either you take the square of minus 7 or you take the square of 7. Both of these will be equal, right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this thing can be written as mod x square minus 3 mod x plus 2 is equal to 0. So in this case, just assume that y is equal to mod x. Okay. So this equation will convert to y square minus 3y plus 2 is equal to 0. Now, can you solve for the values of y? What will be your values of y? This is a quadratic equation. How do you
Yes, sir.
solve it? How do you solve it? Factorization. Can you factorize it?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what will be the factors?
Minus
Y
1 and
square
2,
2,
sir.
minus
12, 3,
great.
Minus 1 and
So y minus 1 into y minus 2 is equal to 0, right? So what will be your values of y?
1 and 2.
1 and
1 and 2.
And what is your y mean over here? Like what is your
Mod.
y is basically mod x, right? So basically you're trying to say that your mod x is equal to 1 and 2. So what are your possible values of x,
Plus
minus
1,
1 and 2.
minus 2, minus 2.
right?
Yes, sir.
So there are total 4 values. So if there are total 4 values, I can say there are 4 points of discontinuity. Okay. You can look at the questions, the remaining questions that we have got in the book Singage. Okay, look at them. They are, I mean, they are really good. Okay, so I'll just give you one small homework question, and it will make you revise for the limits also. See, continuity is not very difficult. Most of the questions that come in JE will actually be of limits only, something like this. That they will give you a function and they won't tell you what is the value, and they will ask for the value at any particular point given that the function is continuous. So basically applying the basic knowledge, what is continuity? So you know that continuity means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value at that point. So just using this thing, you will actually be required to solve the value of the limit. So how to solve a limit, that is more important than knowing what is meant by the word continuous. Okay. So just look at it. You have got f of x is equal to tan of pi by 4 plus ln x whole raised to 1 by ln x. Okay. And it is told to you that at x is equal to 1, it is continuous. So it is asking you what is the value of f of 1. So basically, it is asking you to solve for limit extends to 1 f of x, right? Everyone, do you all agree with this? Everyone,
Yes, sir.
do you all agree? Okay, so if you agree, tell me why. Why is it this thing? Okay, so I'll just make you revise again. See, what is meant by the word continuous? Continuous means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value at point, right? So it is telling to me that this condition is already true. It is continuous at x is equal to 1. At x is equal to 1, it is already continuous. So I already know that left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f of 1. So, and now it is asking me, what is the value of f of 1? So I can just calculate the value of the limit. If I'm able to calculate the value of the limit, I can get the answer. So can you tell me which form of limit is this? If x is tending to 1, where is ln x tending to? What is ln of 1? Natural log of 1.
0.
0, sir.
Great.
0.
So where will ln x tend to?
0.
0.
Great. If ln x is tending to 0, you have got tan of pi by 4 raised to 1 by 0. What is 1 by 0? 1 divided by tending to 0. 1 by tending to 0. Like we have done it so many times in limits. 1 divided by tending to 0. Vignesh,
I couldn't understand.
1 divided by a number that tends to 0. Don't know. Anyone? Ayushi, Akshaya, Shriram, Sofyan. We have discussed it so many times in limits. Like yesterday also while solving limit questions, we have done it. One divided by, okay, so like 1 divided by, so like a very small number. Okay. Think of x as a very, very small number. Where will it go to? 1 divided by a very small number. What will it be?
Infinity.
Ah, great. What is tan of pi by 4?
45.
1.
Yeah,
1.
great. 45. 1. Okay, 1 raised to infinity. So this limit has the form 1 raised to infinity. How do you solve 1 raised to infinity limit? How do you solve 1 raised to infinity limit? Vignesh, how many classes were you absent from? Sriram,
Sir,
Sofyan, tell.
E raised to f of x into ln g of
e
x.
to f of x minus g of x, sir.
E raised to f of x minus g of x. I am pretty sure you
No,
didn't
sir.
you haven't attended. Tell. E raised to
E f of x minus 1 into g of x, sir.
great. E raised to f of x minus 1 into g of x. Vignesh, were you there yesterday?
Yes, sir.
You were there yesterday. So like x tending to 0, 1 by x, we have discussed it many times. Okay, so just make sure you have revised it. Like 1 divided by a very small number, it should go to infinity, right? You divide, you take 1 divided by x, and x is a very, very small number. A very small number. So this whole thing will grow to a very large number. And a very large number on the positive side is plus infinity. So this is how you get it. So I hope you will be able to do this limit, everyone. 1 raised to infinity. Will you be able to solve this limit, everyone? Okay, so this is your homework for today. To solve the value of this limit. And we'll meet tomorrow. Fine? Okay, so that's it. So, Arun sir, can you please end the class?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. You want me to stop the recording?
No, sir, please end the class.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Students, please join the next session.